you an example. I met with a CHRO yesterday, and it's a extremely passionate individual, and was very, I don't want to use the word risk averse to going through their organizational transformation. Very excited individual, but uh, um, I would say a bit risk averse because, like any of these, right, when there's a lot of funds on the line and people on the line, right, there is a chance of backlash. And anyways, long story short, so they went live recently, and when I was meeting with him yesterday, and I've been meeting with him throughout. And one of the things that they've been doing is they have been doing aligning with other groups, right? Number one, so the transformation was a team sport. The second thing they mentioned, which I thought was really interesting yesterday, was that when they went live, they did zero end user training. Zero. They didn't do one quick reference guide, right? In fact, there was the way that they designed the solution. And again, this is how, right? This is the power of the team sport, right? It's everybody knows what's coming. Everybody understands the changes that are happening. Everyone understands the expectations that are being put on them, right? Through communication and all of these other things. To the fact that last week they had an executive steering committee, and the CHRO announced in the executive steering committee that, hey, I'm going to be sending you all, the executive, CEO, CFO, CIO, your username and password, right? But by the way, or your access link, because they have single sign-on. But by the way, there is no training, right? And he said what was the most meaningful part about this whole journey, he said, is throughout the day on Thursday, the CEO, the CFO, the CIO, they stopped by my office periodically and said, this is the coolest thing I have seen to manage our people. And he said, you know how much training we gave them? None. I say this because as you think about, we have this top down and this bottom up perspective, right? So there was sponsorship from the organization, but they didn't really know what was coming, right? I mean, they had an idea, but the groundswell of this individual to take risks, to push this and do things a different way. And in the meantime, they changed their processes, they changed their support, their shared services model, their right support structure, their people skills, right? Full transformation is that it works, right? And in fact, it works so much that he was saying that they were meeting with their value management team. If he's listening to this, he knows who it is now. Actually, he probably knew who it was before. And he said, we actually had to pull back the value that HR has completed to date because we've so far exceeded our numbers that we've made all the other groups look bad.
Wow, that is awesome.
Right. Wow. But this is the power, right, of full transformation. Now, so I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think they're not going to continually innovate based on those results that you just got? They just set a precedent.
Yeah, I was thinking about, as you were going through that success story, I was thinking about the skill set and mindset that it takes to be that bold, right?
Yeah.
The first thing I was thinking is I can probably list at the top of my head 10 organizations, 10 HR leaders within 10 organizations that I know that would hear that and say, well, that would never work. That would never work for my organization because of my past experiences. This would never work. And that kind of mentality of, I think at a certain level, it's important that you have this experience to be able to formulate lessons learned of things not to do going forward. But you have to be willing to revisit past failures in a way in which it's okay to try them again, but maybe under different circumstances.
Yep. Well, and here's the crutch, and probably for those two people that are listening to this, they're asking the question, oh, he must have done this before. This is their first time. They moved from an on-prem system to a cloud system. The team that's been in place, some of them had dripplings of cloud involvement in the past. This was their first cloud implementation.
Wow.
So zero experience, zero. And we're not talking about a small company. This is a large global organization.
Can we just take a moment to just revel in their I mean,
but these stories exist, right? And the reality is listen, transformation is hard, and and they will be the first ones to tell you this was not an easy road for them, right? But if you get back to the whole aspiration versus commitment, right? We all HR leaders have an aspiration to have this same result. The reality is that most of them don't have the commitment to make it happen, right? This individual, large HR organization, hands-on, every steering committee, met with us every other week, fully committed, fully dedicated, and this isn't something you can just push down, right? This is something you have to own and be accountable for driving, because when your team sees you involved, then they want to be involved. And when the team sees you being passionate, then they're going to be passionate. And instead of saying, hey, I'm going to sign this piece of paper, congratulations, you just purchased this solution here, director of IT or director of HRIS, you go lead that's not commitment. That's riding on the heels of others and hope that there's success. And if it's not, then I have a scapegoat. Right. And I hate to say that, but it's reality.